Alright, boys and girls, the question is, are video games too violent? I don't think I've ever been asked this question before, but it's a pretty dang good one. I mean, literally, anything can be said as this. I can say both ways. I can only say both ways, but the real question about it is, are they getting too graphic? For kids, the last time I checked, like the youth, the youngest I've seen a kid is 7 years old playing on Xbox Live, which is my friend's brother, and I bet there's even younger kids than that playing Call of Duty and Gears of War and other games like that. I started when I was like 13, and that's fine as long as you know the the limits to the violence and who you are as a person. You know what's the difference between reality and the game. You know, but there's a big discussion about this. But I'm gonna say the violence could be worse. I'm not gonna lie, the violence could be definitely worse. Um, let's take games like Mortal Kombat for example. I mean, that's pretty violent for kids who are like under the age of 7. Will think that's just crazy. They'll they'll be scarred for life. Like when I was in the movie theater for what is it? The Witch or whatever that Nicolas Cage stars in, and I don't even remember what it was. I came in like at the late part of it. I came at the end, like the last 10 minutes, and this demon comes out, and the kid in the front just starts bawling her eyes out, like legit, and she's 4 years old, and her parents are taking her to an R-rated film, and it's like, why? Why do you do this? What's the difference between that and the limitations on games. It's a big question, but the real problem with it is the parental guidance on it. There's no way of telling whether it's a parent or a child playing this game, and children would do whatever they can to get one of the most violent games live to man. It's really how the parents raise their kids and raise it to be. I mean, games are set with the violence level. They say it on there to put a limit to you. That's why they have the ESRBs. That's why you've got the E10 and up. You've got the T's. You've got the M's. There's a reason why there's that, and it's because it's what the kid's mind can process. If a kid at the age of 10 plays like a game like Dead Space 2, they're going to be scared out of their pants. They'll be pooping out daisies for the next 2 days. I mean, what's the difference between that and an R-rated movie? I mean, everything's getting so violent these days. The movie Saw, let's take for example Saw, Paranormal Activity, and let's just say The Ring. If a kid at the age of 5 would watch those movies, they would be scared heck to death. Now, let alone going back in time and showing people games and videos that are up today, and showing them those when it's like 1950 or something like that. You know what I mean? And people would just freak out. It'd be an epidemic. It'd be riots everywhere. Everyone would be scared out of their mind. If stinking War of the Worlds on a radio broadcast back whenever it was, back in the 30s, 20s area, if that scared the poo out of people then, look where we've come. Look what this has become. We would scare people shitless. I hate to use the word shitless, but it's got to put a big, bold word on it. You've got to put it on there. They would be scared out of their mind. They would wonder if, like, evil is roaming the world. We've really come along. But in all of this, I mean, I'm still going to play those games, but I'm going to have a respect for decency. I mean, if it gets too violent, I'm like, no, we're gonna stop this right here, and I'm gonna go play like freaking Hello Kitty Island Adventure or something. And people just wonder, how violent could they get? They could get a lot more violent. Call of Duty isn't that violent. People see it as that. It could be a lot worse. I'm not gonna lie, it could be a lot worse. But it's just crazy how much we've come from going from Pong, that was nice and recreational, to going into this era of M-rated games that are crazy. We went from Duke Nukem to Gears of War. Okay, we went from Doom to Halo. You know, we went from, let me think here. 1942. I don't remember what it's called exactly, but it's like a strategic game. The Halo Wars. You know, it's changed so much the violence level and everything. I'm definitely gonna say that they could be a lot worse, but it wouldn't be great if they did. Not many people would buy it. Kids would be frightened out of their lives. Dead Space 2 is a definite big example on this. If a 10-year-old would play that, it would scare the poo out of them. Let alone like a grandpa that's like 80 years old. You don't want to have someone who has a heart attack over it. You know what I mean? But are the games too violent? Yes, but no. They could be worse, but they're definitely way too violent. Games like Call of Duty are good because they don't show much depiction of it, but the story mode makes up for most of the M rating. Games like Gears of War, though, that game would scare people. Dead Space 2 would scare you. Even a game like, what is it? Um, Snap. I don't even remember what the title of it was. Um, well, like District 9, like that movie or game. I don't remember which one it was. You guys can comment below and tell me. I don't remember. But that would scare the poo out of any guy in the future, in like the past. You know what I mean? If we went up to, George Washington and showed him that, he'd be scared. He'd be like, "Holy crap!" If people at Salem witch trials just, went like that, it makes me wonder what people would do if they saw Gears of War. It's just different these days. So you guys can comment, rate, and subscribe. You message me. Tell me your thoughts on it. Follow me on Twitter, resistance221. It's twitter.com/resistance221. And then Facebook's the same, except for facebook.com in front of it. Thanks, guys, for listening. Put your own thoughts down. It'd be nice to hear what you guys have to say. And Resistance out.